We are live on Facebook, everybody. Welcome to Comic Spot. Over there is Suwon Weaver. I'm going to introduce her in just a second. First, come on in, make yourselves at home. You can sit with each other. It's not like a wedding. If you're here to support Suwon, you can sit with my people. It's cool, no big deal. Comic Spot is where this little Army veteran, me, decided to be on here and vet out veterans of comedy. And today we have somebody who's a veteran of comedy over in the LA area, Burbank. We have Suwon Weaver sitting right there waiting patiently. And she's going to let me and she's going to let me read her intro that she sent to me. And I quote, here we go. Are you ready, Suwon? I'm going to read your words.
Ready.
She's adorable, you guys. We're going to love getting to know her. Suwon Weaver designs sweatpants and walks on hot coals for fun. As a lesbian, she feels it's a perfect day job because she's right on brand. Suwon performs stand-up comedy all over town and is the co-producer of the Hot Medusa Comedy Show, which is an all-female show always promoting a diverse group of women. So I want you to get to know her because she is all over the internet. She's on Instagram, co-producing the Hot Medusa Show at Hot Medusa Comedy Show. She's at Flappers Comedy Club. Her next show is August 27th, which is tonight, the all-female lineup. And she also runs an open mic at Flappers on Tuesday nights at 8:30. So you need to get to know her. Let's get to know her, whether you're a comedian in comedy or you're not. Let's get to know Suwon Weaver. Welcome to the stage, Suwon. Woo!
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. And I like that intro that I wrote for myself. so thank you.
It's so much easier reading other people's intros than me coming up. I was coming up with intros and people were like, that's not Mike Lee me. That's a guy in China. And I'm like, oh, now I look racist. So I quit looking up people's information because I was getting it all wrong. It's like, you give me the... Yeah. You know, people look like each other. Yeah.
It's so true. Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah.
That's really confusing sometimes.
I like the background you have there where it makes it look like you're sitting in a hot vehicle on a hot day.
Well, it is a hot day. I do have the air conditioning blasting and I feel, yes, I'm very comfortable. You know, it's so weird on my screen though. Like you said, I look fine. To me, I look like I'm super pasty like a ghost. But if you say I look fine, then that is fantastic.
You're so beautiful. You look very, very light skinned, you know, lighter than me, but you don't look crazy or dumb at all. You look beautiful, you know?
Oh, well, if I look lighter than you, that's probably not correct. So, but you know what? That's okay because you know, it's fine. It looks like I have an interesting filter on or something to myself.
You can lean forward and all of your faults will come to light. There you go.
Oh yeah, wait, look, something happened when I move around.
About halfway forward, you looked not as pasty as me. There you go.
Oh well, I don't know what to do about it, but I guess it's okay.
It's got to be. We're here and this is meant to be. Suwon, talk to me about who you were growing up.
Wow. You know, I was a shy kid growing up, but
really?
I was shy internally, but I got in trouble because I had the crazy thoughts that comedians have, like the things that are a little twisted and you say things slightly inappropriate and then people look at you weird and that's how I felt. It's like, oh God, just a wealth of trouble and embarrassment and weird shyness.
So where
I wasn't
Go ahead and finish your thought.
Well, I just wasn't like one of the people who was like front and center. I would be slightly off to the side. And that was me. I feel like I've put a lot of that away though,
Yes.
It's
So
okay.
what made you go from being slightly off out of focus to being the main attraction?
Wow. Well, I think I had done so much healing work. I mean, the walking on hot coals, that's real. I've
Wow.
done it. Yeah, I've done it 3 times. I've had many healers that I work with now, but my first main guy was David Elliott, who's just amazing and lovely person. And he started just kind of was like, you should think about taking acting classes. And I was like, what? No. And then acting classes, comedy, it all just kind of it rolled very easily from there. But
Oh.
I got a late start with all of it. I really did. I was
How
like,
how old were you when you started into acting and comedy then?
okay, I will just tell you, I'm going to give it away. I was 40.
Wow.
So, yes, I was a little older. And then we're still older.
I started at 63, so
Oh, I love that story. That's
yeah,
the best.
I
You
win.
know, yeah, you do. You do win. Yeah. Well,
I know. I know it's your interview, but I win.
no, 1,000%. And what I love about that is there's always room. Like people have this idea, like it's too late, we're too old. I have friends that are like 32 and they're worried about being too old. And sure, maybe to play a high school kid or a college person, but so what? Be who you are, and there's room. So I like that a lot. That's cool. I love
So
your story. You definitely win.
thank you. So you at age 40, something had to happen. Some catalyst made you, the healing just made you go and try acting and just on a whim. It wasn't like with me, it was my daughter wasn't going to talk to me for a while,
Ah,
who knows how long. And I really didn't want to live without my daughter in my life. So I went to learn comedy. So
wow. Good for you. I
I
love
think
that.
I win again.
So far, you have 2 for 0. So I don't know. I got to try to make that up.
But I
Um,
want to hear, there had to be you went from not being in the limelight to right center stage, on stage in two
yes.
different stages. So what did something besides,
You know, That's a good point. I think I was with this guy for on and off for many many years, and we had finally gotten married because when things are going so terribly, you might as well get married.
that's it.
And and then I got married and we got a divorce after a year and a half, and in that time I really ramped up healing stuff for myself. And so I was just trusting my teacher. Like when he said, go do this, I would do it. And that happened for several, like, here, go take an acting class. Okay. And then I would just go. And especially because I didn't have this, I need to be an actor. I was like, I'm going to do what my teacher says. And it was just a matter of taking these steps. Go do stand up. Okay. Yeah, I always love stand up. I mean, I love the old guys. Like I loved Carlin. I loved Bill Hicks. Um, from when I was a kid, Phyllis Diller. Like I love the old school people. And
Yes.
yeah, because it's just they were so bold. It was such a different time. They took so many big chances.
Yes.
Well, Lucille Ball.
Yes.
Yeah, and what a rock star she was. My God. Like, so I love these like strong women too. So it was easy, like to just follow the directions of the teacher and the healers, and it gave me more of a voice too, because I was all in my healing groups. I was shy, and I was the person that like I think one of my first retreats, I had my eyes closed the whole time. Like we would sit in a big circle, and I was sitting there with my eyes closed. I don't know what I was bracing for. Maybe myself. But yeah, so I think being married to like really the wrong person, paying alimony, ugh, ugh.
Wow.
Oh yeah. It was good to get over it and figure out, oh, by the way, I'm a lesbian. Like,
Yeah,
okay.
I was going to ask you, like you went from being married to a man to walking on hot coals and running a lesbian a show with diversity and being a self-proclaimed lesbian. So then
Right.
I'm like, what made you make that transition?
Well, being a lesbian, that was always there. Like it was there from when I was 10 years old. I have a line that I say sometimes, and that is like my parents found me reading a book about lesbians when I was 10. It was underneath
Yeah.
my pillow. Yeah. And so they freaked out and they were like, "You're a lesbian, Suwon." And I, proclaimed, "No, I'm not." So then I had that inside of me, like that denial, even though it was always in me.
Yes.
And once I denied it, that denial, it took a long time to get back out of the denial, to get
Sure.
remove it.
How
But
did your family accept you when you at some point came out to them?
they never accepted it until I was in my 40s. Like they didn't. They had a really hard time, and I think like when I was 16, I had this Grace Jones flat top, and I had dyed my hair blue black, and my dad was so pissed. I mean, it was like a flat top, and I just wanted to always look so hard. Um, so my dad was mad and had called me a lesbian, and I had all these different stages of being like, where they just couldn't accept it. But
Sorry.
oh, thanks. No, it's okay because now, I mean, they just want me to be happy. Well, my dad is passed by now, but he died a couple years ago. He was almost 97.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, super cool. Um, my dad passed, but my mom's so accepting. She doesn't care. And after I was with that guy, they were just like, please be happy. Like, please no, because he was the worst. Just as a person, like, it's just not good.
That's what everybody who's coming out should do is like go marry somebody horrible of the opposite sex and then just
Yeah,
kidding.
I can't really recommend that path. It's a little tough, but you know what? If you got to do what you got to do,
Right? It
you have
depends
to
on your
figure it out.
parents, if it takes
Yeah,
it, do it.
I know. I've been in and out of the closet my entire life until I finally got it. I was in a healing circle, and I was in a fetal position crying
Oh,
because the healer the shaman was playing this beautiful music, and I just was huddled over. And then he asked me if I had ever been in love, and so the answer to that was, because I thought of my husband. Oh God, I barely can say husband. Ugh. I thought of that guy, and I knew that was like a no, which is interesting that I even married him. And then I thought of my first girlfriend, or not my first girlfriend, but I thought of the one long-term relationship I was in with a woman, and I thought, oh yes, I've been in love with her. I was in love with her for sure.
wow.
And yeah, it was so powerful. And then I was like, oh, I'm gay. Like, oh, yeah, that means I'm gay, actually. And so it was great. It was great. I was just relieved, like, got it. Thank God.
Aren't those healing kind of events so wonderful? I mean, you learn and grow and peel off layers.
Uh, yes, seriously like an onion, because that's how we are. Things are kind of stored in our bodies and stored in our mind, and we don't know until we get there, until you make the effort.
Yes.
So
I
I'm
remember
super,
go
yeah,
ahead.
please.
You go first.
Oh, no, I just was gonna say how I'm grateful for the journey. That's all.
Yes. I
Definitely.
remember sitting down at a retreat kind of event, and a girl next to me, it was kind of a religious thing. I grew up being told I was Jewish. And then I decided I'm going to be a Christian. So this isn't sexuality, this is religion, same kind of identity. The
Yes.
Jews didn't want me because my mother wasn't. I went to church. The Christians didn't want me because my father was Jewish. So I grew up like, which am I? I want to please my mom. I want to please my dad. I can't please them both. I'm a big people pleaser, you know? And then I found out, wait a minute, I'm not Jewish. My mother was not Jewish. And I've been
Right.
like, what did you just say about a Jew? You know,
Yeah.
my whole life I was like, don't say that about Jewish people. And then I find out I'm not, I've been fighting a battle against what you say against Jews, and I'm not even considered by the Jews to be Jewish.
Right. That's so similar. Exactly. It's all this identity idea and how it can really feel very, it can be confusing. It really
Yes.
can be. And so that's so amazing that you were able to get to it,
Yeah.
you know? Cool.
So now I have
And yet you're
jokes
fighting
about
for
it.
the Jews.
Yes.
I love fighting for the Jews anyways. I love Jewish people. So
Me
yay.
too. I,
Yes.
don't do a joke that has the punchline effing Jew in it around me, because you will trigger things from my childhood back when I thought
Um,
I was Jewish.
well, that's probably a good idea not to do anyways.
Thank you.
Regardless.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
exactly. Yes,
God,
absolutely.
so
I
sick
don't
of
want to
that.
hear, oh, horrible.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like, especially if their name is O'Malley.
Especially.
And now I sound racist against all
No,
Irish people.
against all the O'Malleys. No, you don't. No, no, no. You sound great. You sound really great.
So
Yeah.
tell me about the time that you, when you were 40, which was yesterday, the time that
Right.
you, we won't ask how long you've been doing comedy because people know math, not me, but people.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay.
Since you've
We
been
don't have to
doing,
give it away.
yeah, since you've been doing comedy, I'm 69 years old now. Since you've been doing comedy, how has your comedy career been? What have you learned? How
Oh,
did it fast did it happen? Did you bomb for a long time, a short period? Did you take off winning a contest right away? How did it
well,
go at the beginning?
the beginning was okay. So I took a class first. You know,
Mhm.
that's kind of how we start, right? Like we take these classes, and
Yes,
that was from Greg Dean. He was awesome. So, yeah, so
it's a
great.
good one.
He's a good one, and I love his wife. Gayla Johnson is amazing too. So, like, they were in the class, and I just loved the group was mixed. It was mostly dudes, of course, because that's how it was. Now there's so many more women, but my first show at the Comedy Store in the Belly Room, it like those first shows went great, and I got really amazing feedback from like some of the older guys that were just around. They were like, "Yeah, that was good," and so it that gave me a little courage to go do open mics. But you know, we all know that open mics, especially on like a beginner level, are pretty can be pretty bad. They can be pretty
Yes.
tough, you know. And so I actually quit for several years. I had done it. I had bombed plenty of times in open mics over and over and over again. But I didn't, you know, fine, that's what you're supposed to do. And then I just couldn't take like the seedy. I mean, I don't want to say, I don't know how, like if we're not supposed to say bad words, so I won't go
Say
into this.
whatever. Say whatever. I,
Well, I'll just say skid mark kind of jokes.
yes.
Like, I just couldn't take it over and over and over again. And it was like this vibe, I can't do it. And I just had to stop. And so I took a break, and then I focused on acting classes, and I went to Playhouse West, and I had great teachers there, and I took other classes like cold reading and you know, commercial classes. I got an agent. So that's kind of, I went into that and into improv. And then at some point I was like, I gotta do stand up. And I would do, I mean, I do a show here and there or something if someone asked me, but I really felt like I quit for a while. And once I came back and it's just totally different now. Now I feel so much more confident. I had done a lot of my healing work. So I did stand up in Korea last year. I went, yeah, it was super cool. It was my first trip there, and it was for expats. So like, in English.
Wow.
And it was really great. It was amazing. I toured a little bit in Texas. I went around and did some comedy shows there, and we toured with Hot Medusa. So the girls who we produced it, and then we booked our own comics for the shows, and we had sold out shows. It was awesome. So it's been good. I mean, I feel like I've had I don't feel like the most, there's plenty of success that I could still, reach for, but I feel very proud of myself. And I feel like, so because I took the break and because I came back, I only like to say I've done comedy for maybe 4 years.
Got it.
Yeah, I don't like to say more because I took the big break in the middle.
Wonderful. That's amazing.
Thank
When
you.
you went to Korea, you were doing comedy for expatriates, which would be Americans living in Korea.
Americans, Australians, there were Canadians there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And was any percentage of the audience military or veterans? Do you know?
I don't know. They didn't really seem like it. I mean, there were some Koreans there who spoke English also, but I don't think that they were military so
Because there's
much.
a lot of American military in South Korea. My ex-husband was in charge of the base in South Korea, and my daughter went over to visit him for 6 months. So
yeah, I'm sure. I don't think that there were, but yeah, it was cool. It was great. I mean, comedy's been awesome, and it's changing so much now too, because there are so many more women, and women are really funny and amazing. I mean, our show that we do, I just wanted to clarify with Hot Medusa, it's not a lesbian show, just so you know. I mean,
I saw the look. I knew you were going to say that because I generalized it. I apologize.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Diversity. You had said it's for diverse. You didn't say lesbian. That was my bad.
Oh, no. It's all good. Because my co-producer is a straight white female, so I don't want it to be, she's, married and all that stuff. So yeah.
And that's awesome that you do include those that are straight. I was in Portland, Oregon doing comedy, which is my hometown. And I grew up there when it was very ultra conservative, very racist, sexist, and very anti-gay. And now a lot of the comedy community is lesbian or gay and have shows that aren't not inclusive of those that are not. So I like, and that's not a knock against them, but it is their time to have their own show. I get it.
Sure, absolutely. Oh yeah. No, I like having a lot of diversity. I feel like it's important right now. And at the end of the day, we're all one, right? Like we really are. Yeah. And even like sometimes I look at flyers for shows and it's like all like, maybe like straight white dudes or something, or all dudes, or even all young people. And I'm like, really, you guys couldn't find anybody else to book? Like, I don't want to shit on anybody. I don't want to say bad things about other people, but I feel like
I feel the same way when I go to the stores and they have the sign that they're all inclusive. It says, every color, every sex, every, whatever nationality, nothing about the old people like me. There's nothing that says we want old people in here. It's like, wait a minute, what about old people?
Yeah, no, I completely agree, because
like, if you're old, just go die.
And I feel like that is a big part of Western culture. It has that kind of, it was one of my favorite things when I took my first trip to France, and I felt like this is nice because there are old people everywhere walking, like, why are we so separate? It doesn't, it was really one of my favorite things. Like, yes, of course, we all should be living together, you know?
Yes, I
Anyway,
can learn so much from talking to you and other young people, and hopefully you can learn by talking to me. But we should all be able to talk, communicate, listen, get along. Like talking is not when you talk and I'm thinking what I'm going to say next. Like listening is listening.
yes, yes, we don't develop enough of these skills and an interest, you know, because people are, I don't know, well, our culture, to me, has been so focused on celebrities and being youthful, and like that's seems like it's been put on such a pedestal, and I don't know,
Yes.
boring. It's not
Yeah.
funny even, you know? It's like, wait, there's so much value other places. So can we, open that up, please, you know?
Yeah. Yes.
And besides, and Black people, of course, and
Thank you.
everybody, it's important right now to be open. I think that that's the way through, you know? And you
Yes.
said you're from Portland. Portland is so wild right now.
Oh,
Wild.
they've been, like I can't even bring up talking about my own city, without people on one side of a fence or another yelling at me. So I can't even, like what's going on in Portland is, you know, being seen through the eyes of if it's left wing, right wing. It's like, listen, if you grew up in Portland in the 50s, like I did, your town is being turned upside down by whoever. I don't care who it is. The town's on fire. Yes, it's great we have the right to congregate. We have the right to have a cause. But to, tear down, if there was, it's like, I don't want to get in like these political
Uh,
things. It's like, it's just my city and I'm seeing my city being defaced, like
wow.
statues, and some statues, if it's about somebody that had slaves, I get it, but they burnt a deer statue that my grandmother and me used to stand and talk to each other at, and that's hard to watch that deer statue burn down, whoever
Yeah.
you are that's burning it, I don't care. It's just that I have sentimental ties to a deer statue and the buck stops there.
Yeah, right. It's I understand because it's meaningful to you. And of course, you know, everybody's got these um attachments, and not even in a bad way, but we have feelings and things, it needs to be acknowledged, not just run over. And then
Yeah.
at the same time, we're in weird times, so it's there's a lot to look at.
I'm so tired of mass hate, like any group thinking they're better than another group. I've
Absolutely.
seen so much prejudice and hate in my life that has happened. Let's talk about the gay and lesbian community. When I grew up, there were horrible names that gays and lesbians were called if they were even recognized at all. So,
Absolutely.
so to come this far is wonderful. We still have a long ways to go. Same with how we have treated people of color in this country. Don't even get me started in what we've done to in people, Native Americans,
Yeah.
or people from Mexico. Or do we need to really know if you're from Guatemala or Mexico? I don't think we do. You know,
Right.
why are we
Yeah.
asking? Because you look different? See, that's racist. Like,
Yeah, it's tough. It's weird. And it's real because
it's
it's like people that end up suffering because of this like otherness, and because there's fear, that is just we need to work on it.
we
We just
do.
we have a lot of work to do.
That's why I
So
really appreciate these young kids, that even the ones that are out marching, if they're not burning things, if you're out peacefully protesting
yeah,
and they see no color, they don't see hate. They're about, growing together and understanding. And I got to say that baby boomers, we were not raised to be that way. We were raised
Right.
to, everybody was raised in different groups, and like there was so much. We had one person of color in my high school of 4,000 children, 4,000
That's
kids, one person
wow.
of color.
Wow. Yeah, that's a different time. Different
Yeah.
time.
It was before they
Um,
even thought of busing people in so that we could understand each other. And the good thing, my parents, Suwon, they went through the Holocaust. So they were
yes.
Jewish immigrants. So we were not allowed to think we were better than anybody. You know,
Right. Right.
we
Yeah.
couldn't make fun of anybody from Asia or Africa, no continent, no group, nothing. You're not
Yeah.
better. Because
My
they
dad
knew,
was in World. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I
no,
don't mean to interrupt you, please.
no, it's your interview. Now, where was your dad in World War II, did you say?
Yeah, he was in World War II. And my dad is black. My dad's part, well, truthfully, my dad, I always say my dad is black, but both of his parents were mixed and he had very light skin. But his brother and sister were a little bit darker. And I always say that my dad waited until Roosevelt desegregated the Navy to join, but he was in World War II. And, again, yeah, fighting because we believed in the American way, because that's what my dad believed in and wanted to fight for the country. So, and then we had neighbors growing up that were in the internment camps, and they were Japanese Americans, and their families were in the. I mean, we've gone through hell. This country, people don't realize we've been through hell, and so
Yes.
it's important to stand up for each other, and look at things with objectively.
Yes. We need to look out for our neighbors because, a lot of things that happen, a lot of crimes against humanity go undetected under the radar. And I'm glad that what's happening to people of color is being brought on video into light. Because if
Yes,
that's happening, what's happening to other groups of people as well that's not brought to light?
absolutely. That's right. And
There's
thank
a
God
lot
for
of hate.
smartphones. There is.
Thank
Thank God
God
for
for
the
some.
smartphones. Yeah, because like now it's being recorded where, it was happening. We hadn't recorded it. And so it's, people are being brought to light.
Yes.
Do
So
it.
let's transition from this world problem and of course
Okay.
the pandemic we haven't even touched on, but let's
Right.
talk about what the pandemic is horrible and not funny. But there's two things I like to bring out of people. What, because of the pandemic, what has grown up inside of you that wouldn't have otherwise?
I would say because so I moved in with my mom after my dad passed. And so that means I'm with my mom a lot. I'm with her a lot. And so now you could almost say she's my comedy muse, because um, she's just from a different generation and grew up poor and grew up in the Korean War. And so for me is like balancing her I don't want to, yeah, negativity. We'll just say it.
Yep.
Balance, like yeah, because I got to keep positive, even with everything, even with the crazy crap that's going on. I still have to be positive inside of myself. Otherwise, what good am I? You
Totally.
know? And so I feel like I've just been so like resolved. And I was going to say that, I also got sober in the pandemic. So thank you. Thank
That's
you.
brilliant.
It
What's
was
that
huge.
feel? That's so new. What's it like?
Amazing. I have 40 days in, and because especially when it first hit, I was like, just give me some alcohol and some weed and I'll feel good. Like I was like, I'm just gonna medicate myself, and I let myself do it. And then it was a problem. So, it was like a steady all these years of like, dipping in, dipping out. And finally I got to the point I hit what I would say my own rock bottom. where I had to do something about it. And so it's been great. People have noticed. They're like, you're so much more focused, you know, and
Wow.
yeah. And I've been doing a lot of healing work for many, many years. So I think this was like a key that I needed to get to,
That's
for
beautiful.
real
That's
change.
you win. That's the best story I've heard out of the pandemic.
I win! Finally!
Chocolate for you.
Oh, that's so good. Okay, we're still 2-1, so all
Yeah.
right.
Here's your last chance to redeem yourself.
Great.
So, with regard to the pandemic, we don't want to go through, there's no reason going through a lot of trauma and BS like the pandemic if we don't become somebody that's a better person for others. So you're a better person for yourself through your sobriety of 42 days.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That's so
Thank
great.
you.
If you can do it through a pandemic, you can do it anytime.
Right.
Oh, and so, what is it that the pandemic has created inside you to inspire you to do things for others, either now or after the pandemic?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
Yeah. I really like volunteer work, and I was working with a group, and I would work with them every now and then. Like, it wasn't super consistent, but they do this. It's called Rock Steady Boxing. It's boxing and exercise for people with Parkinson's.
Wow.
It's so great. It's a great program. And I made really good friends with the two that run it, Lisa Oliver and Yvette. I don't know what's Yvette's last name. I don't remember. But anyways, it's RS. Anyways, Rock Steady Boxing, Ventura County. And so I like giving my time and doing things for other people, because it can't just be about us. It just can't.
That's right.
Like, and even like some of the stuff from that class I applied to my mom, because she is 88 years old and she does need extra. She drives, she cooks, she's like the neighborhood egg roll lady. She gives our neighbors food all the time. It's amazing. Wow. But she gets stressed out, and then she gets very, very tight because she's tight.
Yes.
So even giving that to my mom, even through some of the negativity and like what's that called? She works herself up.
Yes.
Into a frenzy. And so even applying it to her is, it's giving to myself. When my mom is doing better, I do better. So that is true. But
absolutely,
like, yeah, but she gets a lot of relief. And so I don't know, I feel like there's something in there that maybe is relating to your question about others.
Yes. You just even the score. We're on even.
I like
we're both, yeah. So, well, I would like you to plug all the places people can find you on the internet. I know you gave me the links in writing, but I'd like you to say them out loud.
Okay, thanks.
Out of your mouth.
Out of my mouth. Well, I'm on all the socials at Suwon Weaver, which is SUWON. Weaver, WEAVER. So on Instagram, of course, that's like probably the main place. I'm on Facebook. I've got a fan page and a personal page, and then I also have Twitter.
Is your Facebook fan? Is the Facebook fan page? Excuse me. Is that Suwon Weaver fan page?
I think it's just Suwon Weaver. I should add a fan page to it, right? But I don't know.
If there's two Suwon Weavers, they'll figure it out.
Well, one, it would say it's private, I think. So I don't really accept friends unless I know them,
Got it.
Yeah, right?
Got it.
Yeah. And then I post all my like Instagram stuff goes to my business page anyways, which I think is kind of good.
Yes.
And where else can, oh, and then I'm at a show actually. So the show at Flappers is going to be August 27th, which is next month.
Oh,
Yeah,
next
no
month.
worries. Next month. We just had a killer show this month it was so good. Oh my God, Brooklyn Jones was our headliner. It was awesome. But really, I'm like so proud of what we've been doing. For next month, we're going to have Monique Marvez, she's a long-term comic. She's brilliant. Oh my God, she kills me. So I'm super
Wow.
proud of that. Yeah, she's great. Um, and then I'm also going to be on the show with Dat Fan, who I've been taking some comedy classes with him too. Lovely, lovely guy. And he's a lovely guy and a friend. And so I'm on his show Thursday night, and that's going to be on Facebook. So that'll be fun too.
So has that
And
flyer come out so I can repost it for you?
yeah, you know what? I need to send that to you. I think you just sent that to me. So yes, I'll
Yes,
send it.
please.
And okay, that'd be great. Yeah, that's going to be a
Oh,
fun show too. There's good people on that show.
awesome. I love that
Yeah.
fan. I met him when I first started 6 years ago at Aces. I don't know if he
Oh, great.
remembers me, but I remembered him.
He probably does. I'm sure he does. He's got a pretty good memory. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
was talking about having him on the show, and he was like, I've got more followers. Let's do it on my Zoom. And I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's just do it. We're trying to figure
Oh,
it out.
oh, good. Yeah,
He has
absolutely.
quite a few
Yeah,
followers.
he has several. Yes, he does. I think it's like 20,000 or something like that.
Oh my
Anyways, yeah.
gosh. Yeah,
Yeah. So that'll be a great show. I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah, I have a few
absolutely.
shows. I have a couple other shows too. I'm doing a show with Teresa Lowe in August, so I'll send you that flyer as well if you don't
Please
mind.
do. No, I
Oh,
will post everything that you send
okay.
me.
Oh, okay, cool. Then
I'm
I'll
here to
send you
support. I'm
flyers.
I'm really here to support other comics. That's the whole point of the show, so that my people will get to know you, and so that your stuff will get out there through me to my people. You know, I have like a total of 14,000 people, but I love posting stuff. That's how this whole thing started. Like we're all at home. Maybe some of us are sad or depressed or even suicidal. Let's
Yeah.
check in with each other. So that's what this is all about, and making sure comedians get heard and have a voice. And your story of your life is so important. Everybody's story is different there's not one person out of 425 I've done that has your exact story. You're like a big snowflake.
Thank you. I am a snowflake. That's what I say. I'm like, I am just a very melty snowflake. So true. And I'm happy to be that too. So thanks.
You're all yourself. You're not like anyone else. You're very special, and I want to hear your story. So now you've graduated from Comic Spot, and so that means that every single month, if you want to come on and promote something for 5 to 7 months, you just message me. I'll throw you on as soon as I can get you on.
Oh my God, amazing. Thank you so much. I would love to do that. Yeah. It's
My whole
kind
life
of,
is about supporting other people, so that's it.
oh, have you ever done the Enneagram? Do you know what that is? It's like a little spiritual woo-woo thing. It's like one of those tests like Myers-Briggs and lets you know your personality type. But there is a personality type that is about, it's really about giving to others and supporting other people. And I wonder if that's you. It's like it's a 2 on the Enneagram, which is all about other people. And it's a very feely person.
That's
So
me.
yeah, I
That's me.
wonder. Yeah, right? Yeah, it sounds like
Sounds
it.
like me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's
What were
awesome.
you on that test?
I'm a 9, which is a mediator person, a peacemaker. And
Oh,
and so within these things, you know, you can be your highest self as your person, or you might not be your highest self. And so when a peacemaker is you know, not doing so great, then they get lost and they're not, I mean, they might still be making peace, but they're lost. And that's where I was. So I had to find myself out of it.
I like that. When
Yeah.
I was being raised in what I thought was a Jewish home, which turned out not to be, I was being
Right.
told that women shouldn't talk, and that anytime you were funny, that wasn't a good thing. And so I held a lot in. And I was also told I was shy and sensitive and easily hurt, and found out when I was 45, no, I'm, that's, I'm like, I do get hurt, but I'm more of a touchy feely, and but my backup behavior, yeah, I back up, have a backup behavior when I get hurt or triggered, but
Sure.
mostly I'm all about the other people, unless there's that day somebody hurts my feelings. It's all about me now.
Right. Well, yeah, because you have resilience. And that's like what seems like I get that from you is that you very outgoing, and then you have a lot of resilience, which is just amazing. I love that. It's
Thank
cool.
you.
We all have so many like great things that we can give. It's like we just have to be ourselves when we're doing it, and then feel good about what we're doing. And that's like, that's a big part of it. It's just
So
get to be yourself. you know?
now, when in your week, and in when not when there's a pandemic, in the normal world that we had, where in your week were you your most highest self? Because this is the most highest self I've ever been, is right here on Zoom. This is when I'm
Ah,
the most authentic and able to show it and able to be loved back for who I am without acting. I'm
nice.
not trying, this is just who I am, and people seem to really love it. So how
Yeah.
about you, Pinky? When are you the most?
You know, I really I feel good on stage with a mic. And I do have a couple of friends that they're not like my best friends, but people before the pandemic, I used to see them regularly, and they're like, "We think you're more comfortable on stage." like more than like at dinners or more than just hanging out at their house. They're like, "You're yourself on stage." And which I thought was weird, but also kind of true. Like I give myself a lot of permission on stage to just I can be silly or wild. I don't. I let go of a lot of concerns, and so
Wow.
yeah, I think that is true. That oh, is that really true? Maybe. I mean, at
I
least it is.
love that.
Thank
That
you. Yeah.
I,
Actually, you
I
know what? It's true on the Enneagram, now that I'm back to the Enneagram, which I haven't actually thought of in years,
mhm.
or not years, maybe that's exaggerating, but in quite a while. But the Enneagram, my type, the nine, when you evolve to a higher self, then it evolves to a person that is a performer.
Wow.
I forgot about that.
Wow.
I hadn't even thought about it, and that's hilarious. so, so there we
Wow.
go. Okay, I don't
All
know.
right. So
Yeah,
we got to get out and support you. And so I need all your flyers that you ever have, and tell me when you want to get back on and promote a show.
thank you so much. I definitely will do that. I would love to.
Are
So
you doing
thanks.
any podcasts?
I'm not. I'm not doing any podcasts right now.
If you
Yeah, I don't
start
know.
doing those, let me know.
Yeah, maybe I have to ask you about that because I actually my one of my Hot Medusa people, we were going to do a podcast a while back, and then it was we said, okay, let's just focus on the show. It's
Yeah,
like sometimes you got to have your priorities and fulfill those.
absolutely. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Well, if
So,
you ever go to do one, I bet you'll be great at it, because you're very interested and well spoken, and you can talk
oh,
about anything. So, and that probably comes from the acting improv background, that you're easily fluid between subjects. So you'd be great for a podcast.
oh, thank you so much. Yeah,
If
I
nothing
think it
else,
would be
people
fun.
should have you on as a guest.
Yes, I'll say that.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Put her on a
yes.
podcast. Even if you generally only have men on podcasts, have Suwon Weaver on your podcast. You know what I
Right. I
mean?
have stuff. Yes, I have things to say. I am interested. So that would
Yeah,
be,
women
yeah,
can talk.
we really can. We have things, yes, maybe a little different perspective than some
Yeah,
of the
what's
guys are
wrong with
used to.
that?
Which, yeah, why not? If they're not, why should they be afraid? Don't be afraid, men.
Yeah.
You
in
know?
in Portland, Oregon, where I'm from, they had the Trailblazer basketball team, and the NBA wanted people to be on the podcast for the NBC affiliate locally. And I put my name in there, like, I'm hella funny and I know basketball. Hello. You know, they were like,
Nice.
I never heard back from them. It's like, yeah, that's never going to happen. But it was fun.
Wow.
Made me laugh that I applied at my age. But I know basketball. And tell me, I could rip. Portland is called Rip City. I could rip that city apart with their basketball trivia.
Nice. Oh my God. I want to take a piece of your rule book. That's amazing. I don't know anything about sports. It's true. Like sports, I'm like completely lost. But I think basketball and hockey are really cool because there's so much skill and they're fast.
Yes, they are.
I like that. I mean, I feel like all right, if we're gonna talk sports, I mean, I kind of feel like
let's talk. We'll show you guys. We know sports.
Yeah. Well, only that like baseball is so slow. I can't even understand it at all. And then football, I don't know what's going on. It's just like a bunch of guys piled up on each other, and they're wearing, tight pants. So fine. But basketball is amazing, and I think that hockey is incredible. So I like those two. I'm gonna learn something about basketball. So next time we talk, I can talk to you about.
Let's do that.
Okay. What's your favorite team? Who do you like? What's your favorite team?
I'm really into college basketball. My brother-in-law played for University of Oregon back in the day. And then he also played football at U of O, and he's on the Wall of Fame at U of O. So like I'm really pro University of Oregon. And but my favorite team for the last six decades, at 6.9, 12 decades, 69 years, it's been the Dallas Cowboys. And I don't care what anybody says. They have my heart because I was a little girl watching with my daddy.
I love that. They used to practice in Thousand Oaks, which is where I live, at Cal State Lutheran. That's where they practiced every year. And so I had seen them years ago, I don't know if they still do, but they did for years. So that's cool.
Yeah.
We're connected.
Yeah. And
Nice.
then the favorite team of all time for me in basketball is the Lakers.
Oh, perfect. That makes sense.
Yeah,
You
I
know
don't
what?
care.
Yeah.
You have a team.
It's LA. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's awesome. All right, I'm gonna look at the Lakers.
Okay. Yeah, look at the Lakers. When they were in their heyday, those Lakers.
Like with Magic.
And and Kobe and Shaq, through Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah. Those guys are awesome. See, like I said, I don't know anything.
That's okay, but Magic definitely.
Yeah. Well, Kobe too, of course. Like, right? Yeah. Natural. Like, yeah. And Shaq. Who doesn't love Shaq?
Who doesn't know Shaq? Like, what kind of woman would you be if you didn't know the name Shaq?
Yeah, and just love that guy. He's so like lovable,
isn't he? Yeah, he's a good egg. Well,
Great.
I'm gonna let you go. You've been a delight. Thank you so much for your time sitting in your car to do this.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for asking me. It's been super fun. It's easy to talk to you, so thank you.
Thank you so much, Suwon Weaver. You guys, let's support her.
Yeah. All right. Take care.
Okay, bye.
We'll talk soon.
Love you lots.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
Everybody's talking at the comic spot. The comic spot.